You're reading. Prison rapes are delicious. Prison
what?
rapes. Well, I'm sorry. Prison crepes.
Hey everyone, welcome to Ajay and Nathan Discuss Movies, a show in which we discuss movies both old and new. Today, Nathan Lange is not here on the show today, but we do have a temporary co-host for today's episode, and it is...
I'm Dan Doherty.
Dan Doherty, past...
I've been on the show before. I think I'm the only guest you guys have ever
Make sure
had.
you have the little bit of space between the mic and your face.
Like this?
A little bit more, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, we are here.
Anytime I try to connect with Ajay on a human level, he will stop it. I'm just to make sure the mic is away from me.
Okay. Yes. So Dan is here. Obviously, he's a former guest on the show.
Yep.
And thankfully, he's still doing comedy, so we got him back. He hasn't quit yet. We're happy about that, and we did get some refreshments for him.
Yeah, you got me a Coke and cookies. And I also brought my own coffee that has like 45 sugars in it.
He brought his own coffee again. This is Boston Santa Claus right here.
If you watch the last episode from like a year and a half ago and then watch this one, you can see how much fatter I'm getting.
Yeah. I mean, you look better than last time. I'm not going to lie.
I'm dressed better, but I think I weigh more than last time. Doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter. We're beating around the bush here.
You're dressed in this is your fancy guy dress now.
This is my Arthur. You know how in Arthur...
I don't know what?
You know how in Arthur they just have like the default clothes they wear on every episode?
This is you now?
This is me now.
This is what we're going with?
This is what we're going with. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, we're beating around the bush here. Let's discuss the film that we're about to discuss today. And that is...
Dirty Work.
Directed by Bob Saget.
R.I.P.
R.I.p.
Everybody in this film is dead except Artie Lange.
Imagine that. The one guy who is
maybe
overdosed on heroin many times.
Is Gary Coleman dead?
Yeah. Gary Coleman.
Everybody in this movie is dead. Is anybody in this movie alive?
Rickles.
Rickles is dead.
The love interest for Norm is probably dead. She's really...
Yes. Was Sarah Silverman wasn't in this. That's screwed. It was
Robin Wright? She looked like Robin Wright.
She was like a sitcom actress.
Yeah.
I've seen her in stuff. I don't know what she is. Dirty Work is a delightful romp about Did you just start recording in a second? We weren't recording?
The stopwatch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you just hit record. Dirty Work is a film about... It's kind of a stupid plot, but the film device is this guy and his half-brother, their father... is very ill and he needs a heart transplant, and thanks to a corrupt doctor with a gambling addiction played by Chevy Chase, they can get the heart transplant if they can raise $50,000 in 2 weeks. So in order to do that, they start a revenge for hire business where they will have comical revenge on anybody that's wronged various people in the movie. So that it basically just sets up a series of sketches. It's really just a bunch of sketches. It's very funny, and it's a very bad movie.
So what are your overall thoughts on it?
It's very funny. There's a lot of funny stuff in it. And as a movie, as a film, as a piece of art, it's terrible. It's a bad movie. It's like I was watching it again this morning, and like everything about it, the coloring, the angles, the cuts is bad. But it's got a lot of good jokes, and it's got a lot of good bits and funny Norm stuff in it. And and it should have been a lot funnier, but they edited it
to make it PG-13.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
think we were going to talk about that.
So fun fact: this film was originally going to be rated R, but they decided to cut away 5 to 7 minutes of material. But
Have you seen the online? They talk about this where they show edits that show some of the missing stuff. Someone who is not affiliated with the company, like any of the people involved, some private person is doing a R cut.
Note to self, remember to get ass wart cream for giant wart on my ass. It's a little bit past that.
One of Norm Macdonald's tapes gets played through the PA system in the theater, and what he says in the theatrical cut was different than in the dirtier cut. The problem is in the dirtier cut, again, it was only coming from tape sound, and it was just a voiceover from Norm Macdonald that was basically in there as temp sound.
Even with adult diaper, Shitting pants is unpleasant.
They're making it. If you go on YouTube,
Oh, wow.
look up Hats Off Entertainment. There's a video about this. Somebody, I don't know who, has got a hold of the raw footage, and they're actually reinserting everything, which was what Bob Saget was doing when he died. He was working on making, he said, for Norm.
Norm Macdonald jumps into Auschwitz.
No, there's like, so here's an example. There's a joke where Jack Warden is in the hospital.
Yeah.
And they go, how you doing? And he's like, I'm not doing too good. Know me, whatever. And then he goes, I need $50,000, right, for your heart. And he was like, $50,000 would buy a lot of whores or something like that. And they just cut that joke. So instead they go, oh, wouldn't you rather have the $50,000? And he just goes, no. And there's no joke. They just cut the joke because they thought that was like dirty.
Yeah.
So there's just if you watch Dirty Work with that in mind, you can see there's a lot of just things where it seems like there was supposed to be a joke there and there's not, or where it's like a weird cut.
Yeah.
And that's just because they very inartfully just cut out 7 minutes from the movie.
Wow.
And I also don't think Bob Saget's like a good director.
Yeah, he's not.
So I think like you go to Stanley Kubrick and you say we need to cut 7 minutes. I don't think he does that. But
No. Yeah.
the point is, a real good director could be like artfully remove the 7 minutes and make it not look like there's just jarring blank spots in the movie. This looks like it.
Yeah, this feels very uncut. It feels like a film that,
A rough
despite
cut. Yeah.
the 5 to 7 minutes of no actual rated R, gory, humorous scenes in it, it still feels like a movie that was done in an unprofessional way. I would say that, like, I do disagree with the notion that this film is bad. I think this film, in comparison to the comedy films that were prevalent in the 90s, this actually has aged really well.
It's on par, I think.
Yeah, I think not only is it on par, it's better than like the Adam Sandler films in the 90s. Because
Better as a film or better like the comedy material?
just all around. I feel like
Okay.
the humor works better. I feel as if the plot works
But doesn't
better.
it feel like a student film?
It's not a professional film.
No.
It's not a professional film. It's quite unprofessional. And it feels very much we have a camcorder, let's just film funny stuff happening.
I heard somebody say this is a film like it's like Back to School, or they use another example where you basically just go, this guy's really funny. We got this funny guy. Let's just make a film around him being funny. Because a lot of it is like Norm jokes from Weekend Update. Like when he has there's a running gag where Norm has a tape recorder, uses notes to himself. And it's just a way for him to say really obvious things. It's just a device. And he used to do that on Weekend Update.
Dirty, sickening image in my mind. Oh no, here it goes again.
Note to self. Never ever follow a vomit spewing guy with a joke.
We go, note to self, right? Or like when the bearded lady goes, if you haven't kissed a bearded lady, you haven't lived. And then right in front of her, he pulls out his camcorder and goes, note to self, I don't want to live. Like it's just him being Norm. That's why I like the movie. That's everything that's good about it is because of Norm.
Yeah, of course. But I feel like Artie Lange really did play like a important piece to really liven up the comedy in a way.
Yeah, I think he was underused.
You think so?
Yeah, I think if the movie feels like such a rough draft or something, I think if they had more time or something to work on it, they could have done more with the Norm and Artie thing. Yeah, because like there's scenes where Norm and Artie are kind of playing off each other, and the dialogue's very fake. And I feel like if they just let them kind of go more, it would have been better.
I mean, I felt like Artie Lange gave a pretty good performance in this film.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, there were moments in this film.
Have you seen him on Louie? Or no, Crashing?
I've seen him on Mad TV and the Howard Stern show.
My Big Fat White Mama.
Yeah, but I feel like, and this may be a critique on Norm, but I feel like there are times in this film in which Norm is kind of breaking character. Breaking character meaning not really following the script, or kind of like smiling in scenes in which it really doesn't call for smiling in this scene. There are more emotional moments in this film in which Norm isn't really taking it seriously, but you see Artie really portraying like a more sincere character, and I feel like that dynamic really plays off well. Artie
is actually trying to act, and Norm has compared his acting style to Jerry Seinfeld, who always comes up when I'm here, in in Seinfeld, where he said, if you watch the show Seinfeld, it looks like Jerry's just watching the show. Like he's just standing there reacting to them. And Norm's doing that. If you ever watched the sitcom Norm, or the Norm Show, whatever it's called, it's the same thing. He just walks around and he always looks like he's about to start laughing. He looks like this is ridiculous and it's silly. And but you have to like that.
Yeah.
You know, like if I showed this to my mom, I think she would just be like, why is he acting like that? You know, because he's not acting like a character in a movie. He's acting like a guy who's in a movie who knows he's in a movie.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy. I like Norm, so I would watch Norm do like any movie. It'd be terrible.
I mean, we're both big fans of Norm here. On my phone, there's a
phone
cover.
case of Norm.
Yeah, there's a phone case of Norm, and everyone's like, especially my non-comedian friends, are like, is that your boyfriend?
Yeah, if you show, I don't know if you have your phone. If you show the picture, it's a very dreamy photo of Norm.
It's very Paul Newman.
Yeah, he looks like a dreamboat.
Yes.
Like it's like a picture like a girl would have in her from like Tiger Beat hanging up on the wall.
They had Norm.
He's like,
they shot Norm when he wasn't having
Norm
cancer.
looking like adorable.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a picture of him at the end.
But there's that scene in which both Norm and Artie are in prison, and we're both big fans of Norm here.
Yeah.
And that scene was very reminiscent to that moment in his book in which he mentions prison rape.
You fellas have a lot of growing up to do, I'll tell you that. Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Can you believe these characters?
That's one of my favorite. That is, if you ever watch watch this on television, they edit that horribly, that joke, because he goes, oh, you know, or is it in the movie? I can't remember where he says. Does he say ass rape in the movie?
Yeah, he does.
So if you watch that on TV, he goes, instead of ass rape, they cut it and he says the other thing, and you're supposed to infer. It's so bad. The movie doesn't really have a lot of swearing.
No.
There's no nudity.
Yeah, that's crazy for a film that
Dirty
features prostitutes.
Dirty work. But it's very dirty.
And Don Rickles.
In subject matter, it's very dirty. Like he's got his in the first scene, he's in his aunt is like he's got his head in his aunt's bosom as a child, and things like that. So there's a lot, and then
Aunt Kathleen is your aunt.
That can almost be in your act. And then the crossing guard, that's a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like they don't. So it's like it's very dirty, but I feel like you could say all that stuff and still get a PG.
I thought it would be more dirtier. Like when I got to the point of the pedophile crossing guard, I was like, oh, this is going to be like, it's going to live up to the name. It's going to be dirty. But it wasn't that dirty.
They really butchered it. It was supposed to be. There was a scene that was cut from the film that I learned yesterday. Chevy Chase said this scene was the reason he wanted to do the film, and it ended up being basically the big gag around the American Pie was written around this whole gag. You know, he has sex with a pie, right? In the Dirty Work scene, which was written before this, they were going to send a bunch of donuts to these frat boys. And then at the bottom of the box of donuts, it was revealed through pictures that we don't see, but they see, that it was Norm and Artie with the donuts around there, that they had sex with all the donuts. And that's like described but never shown. You know what I mean? And that gag is the basis for the whole American Pie movie franchise.
The Boston cream got extra cream that day.
And they cut that because they were like, oh, it's too dirty. Even though the way it was described to me, they don't actually show anything. It's just implied. And then they show, I saw the clip where they show them all eating the donuts and they're all spitting out the donuts. And then there's like a cheerleader with them, and then she starts like she's staring at the picture and like eating the donuts even more, like you know. You know what I'm saying? Like she's like, oh yeah, I love these donuts. It's a funny gag, and I don't understand why that would have to be cut to not get an R rating.
I mean, I will say that there's a lot of things that were cut from the movie, but I think for a comedy movie, I think this hits the sweet spot. I think the runtime is around like 84 minutes with trailer with credits. I like that. I think that comedy movies should be short. Because I feel like when you sort of beef it up to the point where it's like an hour 50, 2 hours, then it gets into Judd Apatow territory where you're just adding scenes for the sake of adding scenes instead of really focusing and leveraging it on the comedy.
I agree. And if you're going to do comedy, Norm has complained about this with that movie, that they have to have a love interest and they have to have a this and that and make a whole story. And that stuff all felt shoehorned in. And when you make the movie longer, it's never for more comedy. It's for more character development and story and all this stuff. It doesn't really matter in a comedy as much. So it's like, if you're just trying to be funny, I think there's like a, W.C. Fields or whatever has like The Dentist, where he plays a dentist. And that's like a 40-minute film. Because it's not a film. It's just like, we have a bunch of gags revolving around a dentist. We don't need to add his wife and his love interest and his daughter's dying or whatever. We can just be like, here are the gags. Yeah. These are the jokes. Next.
I was thinking like throughout the entire film that this could easily be like the pilot episode for a really cheesy 80s buddy cop comedy.
I would watch. That would have been a better TV show, I think, than a movie.
Really?
Yeah, because because of the way they neutered it. If they're gonna make it actually dirty, it should have been in a movie. If they were gonna do what they did and kind of clean it up, they could have just made it a sitcom where every week they get into some wacky adventure and they're whatever. And of course they have. You want to talk about? Do you want to get into the cameos yet?
Yeah, we can get into.
Do you have like a list? Because
I mean, Don Rickles has a cameo in this film.
Don Rickles has a cameo in this film. Gary Coleman has a cameo in this
Adam
film.
Sandler as Satan.
Adam Sandler as Satan.
Very
fitting role.
Did you like that scene?
A lot of these scenes like that felt a little long.
Yeah, that was
only 10 seconds or something, and I was like, all right, I get it. I was like,
yeah,
it's bad editing.
Yeah, because
a lot of the jokes felt that way. They felt too drawn out.
Another cameo. This was apparently Chris Farley's last role before his death.
And I'm glad you brought that up. My favorite Chris Farley role ever.
Really?
Yes.
It's pretty funny.
He is so funny in this as a guy. Chris Farley plays a extremely bitter Vietnam veteran who married a prostitute from Saigon who bit off the tip of his nose. And it's all he talks about, and he never lets it go, and he's extremely mad about it. And
one of the funniest scenes featuring Chris Farley, and I'm sure we're going to get to this, is when he's with the skunks that are in the... That was the because it's like, it's just physical humor at its most pent up.
And he's the most Chris Farley. Like, there's no... like governor on it. It's like go, and he's screaming, and he's got that guttural thing. It's the best. It was the best Chris Farley role because Norm wrote it for Chris Farley. So it's like, and he was like, just do your Chris Farley thing.
Bow and kneel before me. Jimmy.
It almost feels like he just said, all right, we have this one gag, and then just do it when he's describing. My favorite scene with Chris Farley in any movie is this. He's with Norm, and he goes, hey, Norm, if you need any, or whatever his character is, if you need anything, you come to me. And then he asks, can I stay at your house? And he immediately, without skipping, like, you have to put it in because it's too funny. Without skipping a beat, he's like, well, the thing is this. And he starts explaining why he cannot stay at his house because he lives with an old man in the YMCA and he watches him sleep and all this. And Norm's like, all right. I'm not going to stay at your house. Fine. It's such a silly. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
I was thinking that, man, why can't more fat blonde-haired comics do the Chris Farley thing instead of trying to butter up to politicians and
This is James. What are you saying?
This is Tim Dillon.
Tim Dillon.
Yeah, I wish Tim Dillon was more of a physical act.
I wish he was more James Corden. Dancing
yeah, singing Harry Styles to JD Vance.
Yes.
Anyways, there are moments in this film in which Norm's humor really elevates through. The moment in which he's outside of, I think, the office of the businessman. And he sees the homeless people out. And
Jim Downey.
Yeah.
Fred Wolf.
Yeah.
SNL writers who helped write the movie.
Yeah, where he's like, I'll give you $1 if you can wreak havoc. And they're like, no. And he's like, okay, I'll give you $2. And it's just a hard cut to them just wreaking havoc in the building.
Jim Downey gives a beautiful speech when he rejects the dollar. He's like, about how we're homeless, but we have souls and we're humans and we're not just, and then he's like $2. And then they're like, they're all running around crazy. It's so stupid. Yeah. Have you noticed there's like a running gag, which I don't think is funny, but it's in the movie, where at the beginning of the movie, Norm's girlfriend is throwing him out of the apartment. And she's throwing away all of his clothes. And his clothes are very colorful. All of his clothes are very colorful. And then the gag is that throughout the movie, there's people wearing his clothes. Yeah. And they, so like the homeless guys are all wearing his clothes. And it's kind of... I feel like that joke just does not land.
It doesn't land because had you not mentioned it,
You wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
But if you watch the movie, you'll notice that like randomly, lots of people are wearing oversized, really colorful shirts.
Oh, I thought they were just homeless. That's the reason why they wore the.
I think it would have worked better if they just made the joke be like all his clothes are like hockey jerseys or something. But it's too like you don't even notice it until you watch the movie as many times as I have.
Fun fact about the guest stars, going back into the guest stars. Don Rickles plays in a hilarious movie theater owner. Apparently, and this
You look
is
like
a
a
fact.
tub of lard on a bad day.
Yes, the roasting was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Apparently, the whole week's budget for the movie that Bob Saget had in mind was filmed only for the Don Rickles thing. So they had a whole week's production budget for the
Just
movie.
for Don Rickles?
Yeah.
So they spent a week having Don Rickles berate them all, and then they cut it down to like a minute.
And it was supposed to actually go to Dangerfield. Oh. But they were afraid that it wouldn't fit Dangerfield's act because Dangerfield isn't like an insult comic.
God, but imagine Dangerfield in that movie in some role. He could have played their dad instead of Jack Warden. Instead of Jack Warden, who had dementia or something at the time. And you can kind of tell. Like every scene, he looks like they just said, say this.
Yeah.
Like he's a little like, yeah.
Having said all that, the opera scene in which Jack Warden is just sexually harassing the opera singer is the most hilarious thing.
That is funny.
Let me take you to Vegas. You know what they say. It ain't over till the fat lady checks into a cheap hotel with pops.
What are you doing? You're ruining Don Giovanni.
And the fact that they had that art critic there in the opera house just saying, oh my God, this is an amazing piece of art. It really showcases whatever the hell, Phantom of the Opera in such an amazing way.
Don Giovanni.
Yeah. It's a fun film.
It's fun. It is weirdly dirty, even though it's like PG-13. It would have been better if it was rated R, because there's so much stuff that was, you can just tell, sloppily, hastily cut. And then you'll probably more appreciate this because you're like a movie buff. But then right after that, so the studio, whoever made it, was like, we have to neuter this. We need PG-13 because we want young kids to go see these. R-rated comedies are dead. And then right after that, I think a month later, There's Something About Mary came out, huge hit. And then they have like, the American Pie, all those raunchy, rated R.
Road Trip. All
these raunchy, dirty, rated R comedies of the
Freddy Got Fingered
of the early 2000s. And they could have been like right at the beginning of that. Instead, they made the movie into like kind of nothing.
Yeah. But again, I think it shows like how this film was ahead of its time. I know that's kind of a highbrow phrase to say for a buddy road trip
Cut to them holding the fish.
Show these guys what we do to cops. Say hello to the devil for me.
Because I felt like they did like a more sincere effort at trying to go for a more sort of mature way of handling comedy.
Well,
in comparison to the Adam Sandler.
I know what you mean when you say mature, because it's not mature at all. But Adam Sandler went the PG-13 route. All his movies are PG-13, right? Yeah, and his movies are a lot more like fart jokes. A lot more. I mean, I think Red Letter Media. I don't know if you're allowed to mention.
Of course, we can mention
on the
it.
show.
We plug them all the time, as if they need our plug. But
well, every little bit helps, and maybe one day they'll return the favor.
Yeah.
They did like a thing about that where they do a counter. And they're like a bingo chart. And if you watch an Adam Sandler movie, it's like someone will make a fart joke, someone will make this joke. Like it's the same 10 things over and over again.
Al Pacino will come out shilling for Dunkachino,
Say hello to my chocolate blend.
That is in a weird way actually kind of funny.
It is.
But when you watch it, it does make you feel really sad because it's like it's Al Pacino.
It's an artist going through a really moral dilemma at that point.
Yes. And that brings us back to the cameos, which there's so many good cameos in this. We got Don Rickles, Chevy Chase. I don't know if it counts as a cameo. He's a semi-major character. Chevy Chase, my favorite Chevy Chase role of anything ever.
Really?
Maybe second to Fletch.
Fletch is, I think,
Fletch is like the perfect Chevy Chase role. Fletch, and then he plays a Dr. Farthing. Dr. Farthing, the compulsive gambler. I found it funny that Norm, this is at the time he was at the height of his gambling, did not call him a gambling addict. He called him a compulsive gambler. He didn't like that term, gambling addict. What's the line where he says, he goes, if you give me $50,000, if you give me $50,000, I'll put your dad at the top of the list. And he goes, what? Did you just say that I had to give you $50,000? And he goes, no, I whispered it.
Did you say $50,000?
No, I whispered $50,000, and I need it in 2 weeks.
Or he goes, I mean, you can cut this and just cut to the jokes, but like when he says he's got like his arm in a cast, and he's like, you don't understand. If you owe a bookie $50,000 and he breaks your arm, you still owe him the money. Doesn't seem very fair. He's like, especially when he's going to kill me in 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah, Chevy was great in this film.
He was phenomenal. So good. And, God, I miss Chevy Chase being funny in things. Now he can't be funny anymore. He's too far gone.
Yeah,
he loved Norm. He was a Norm guy. He loved that movie. And do your research on this. He was on Howard Stern, probably like in the late 2000s to 2010s, and he talks about this movie a lot. And he was a big fan of it, and he talks about how the studio destroyed it.
Really?
Yep. And then, the studio destroyed it. Bob Saget was trying to work on restoring it, and he tragically dies.
Yeah. They were trying to work on a sequel for this movie before.
And then Norm tried to work on a sequel, and then I'm just saying something's up. Seems like they were targeted.
Artie, count your days.
If I was Artie Lange, all I would say is I would say this to Artie Lange. Don't start making any rumblings that you're going to write a sequel to Dirty Work, or they will take you out.
Follow our God, RFK Jr., and do the Maha diet.
They do. As soon as if you mark my words, Artie Lange somehow survives everything. If he says, I found Norm's Dirty Work 2 script, I'm going to polish it off, suddenly he's going to die. This movie is cursed.
We'll have Mark Norman play Norm.
I'd watch that.
Really?
No.
No, of course
I'd
not.
watch it, but it's not going to be good.
It's not going to be good. It's just going to be Norman being like, I'm straight.
Yeah.
Well, you thought I'd say I'm gay.
I'd
straight.
watch a Dirty Work sequel with like Mark Normand and Joe List.
Really?
Sure. I mean, I'd watch almost anything, but I mean, that's not going to be any good. That'd be fun, though.
Yeah.
I don't think, do comedians make movies anymore? I don't think so.
I mean, I know Theo Vaughn and David Spade are making a buddy comedy movie.
So that's one.
But that's it.
But you know what I mean? It seems like in the 90s, that was like a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's no return on investment for movies.
Because, like, when was the last time an SNL star made a movie?
They do make movies, but it's just now...
Beck Bennett. He's going to make a movie?
Now for streaming services,
Oh, yeah. So nobody hears about them.
Yeah. That's the thing. And, I mean, that's...
This is one of only 2 movies Norm starred in.
The other was...
Screwed. Well, let's talk about that someday. I like that better than this.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Well, we won't get into it then. It's
who directed it? Was it an SNL writer?
I don't know. I don't know who directed it. I just know it was him. Dave Chappelle's in it. Danny DeVito, Sarah Silverman.
Good cast.
The guy who played George Jefferson. Sherman Hemsley. It's a weird cast.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, though. This movie has thousands of people in it.
Yeah.
George Chevalier is in it. Ken Norton is in it.
Yeah.
That's a great scene where they cut to Ken Norton, the boxer, boxing Gary Coleman, and he just punches him and he dies. It's so stupid.
Come on, man. Bring it. Come on, bring it.
I also like when they put they're trying to play a prank on a guy who runs a movie house. So they change the projection to be Men in Black, and then it says Men in Black who like to have sex with each other. And then they can hear it, and it's like, oh, look, that alien is weird. Anyway, let's have sex with each other. Yeah. And then when Artie looks at the screen, that's funny.
Yeah.
Artie looks back at the screen.
All right. So we can go on and on about the unadulterated praise that we have for this film. But wrapping up on our thoughts, what are your final thoughts on this movie?
Very flawed. It's a very flawed movie. I would never tell anyone, like, this is a great movie. I don't even know how funny it's going to be to people who aren't Norm fans. Because, like, I'm so biased, I can't even tell anymore. It has a lot of good gags in it. Has a lot of good jokes in it. It's worth watching. And it's one of those movies that, like, it would be perfect to be remade. Because when you watch it, you go, God, it's so close. You know, it's like a couple degrees off of being one of the best comedies ever.
Yeah. I think this is a great film. I mean, it's not it's not. I mean, it's no.
It's no Raging Bull. Who was it that was like an actual review of the movie where some movie guy was like, "It's no Raging Bull," and Norm's like, "What the fuck?" Like, who said it was supposed to be?
Yeah, it's no Jack and Jill.
Who said it was supposed to be Raging Bull?
Yeah, I mean, I think this film is.
I don't want to interrupt again, but I will. Another review of the movie was the famous one where one of the reviewers said that Artie Lange's character in the movie has all the charm of a date rapist. And Norm said, "Well, that's pretty good because a date rapist has to have a lot of charm. Yeah. He's got to get the date. He's got to, let's like think of that compared to a regular rapist."
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think this film is definitely has great pacing. I mean that 84 minutes goes by rather quickly, and no point did it really slog. It understood its place. It never tried to be more highbrow than it actually was.
No, it's a silly, fun, dirty movie.
But at the same time, the humor never took me out of the movie, and it never put the actual film at the expense of it.
When you say it took me out of the movie, I feel like I was out of the movie the whole time because I don't even know the name of. Isn't it Mitch?
Mitch Weaver and Sam McKenna.
These aren't. You don't go. These are real people. Like you don't go when they go. Dad's gonna die. You're not like, oh. Yeah. You're like, okay, what's the gag? It doesn't feel like a real movie in that sense.
In comparison to the other,
it's kind of a cartoon.
Yes, but in comparison to the other comedies, where I feel like they sort of take liberties to waste your time.
Are we never gonna address the fact that we're like we look like we're in a
dingy warehouse?
Yeah, we're like it looks like this is really like an ISIS beheading video or something. Like if I could turn the camera, you would not believe what this room. It's just an empty room. If you can't tell from the echoing, we're in an abandoned room in his house. I don't even know if this is his house.
Yeah, this is somebody else's place.
Someone's gonna come home and be like, "Who the hell are you guys?"
Yeah, some Dominican will walk in being like, "Pourquoi?"
You say pourquoi?
Yeah.
French Dominican.
French Dominican. Yeah, so wrapping up our thoughts on this movie, I really enjoyed it. I think it definitely ages itself well in comparison to the other 90s comedy films that were out during this time period. And I feel like this is a good like sort of beginning entry point for like people who are not familiar with Norm Macdonald's work or what he's done.
It's a good. It's a showcase for Norm. It's a Norm vehicle. They used to say about movies, right? That this is a vehicle for this person. That's what the movie is. The movie is this is this guy Norm. This is his sense of humor. This is the kind of jokes he likes. It is a good intro to Norm. So therefore, everyone should watch it. They should give like a tax credit to watch this film. Go on Tubi. Go on Pluto. Yeah, this is a movie you will not have to pay to see. And,
no one's going to pay to watch this movie.
And I wouldn't recommend that you pay to see it. You can see it for free on Tubi and Pluto.
Yeah. So overall, those are our thoughts on the movie. We'll maybe come back next week with Nathan. We don't know. He's MIA for now.
Nathan's MIA. Well, I won't be back, but
of course, that's too much to expect out of
No, in a year, I think I'll come back and we could talk about Screwed, Norm's other movie.
We'll talk about Rumblefish. How about that? An actual art house movie. Anyways, that's it for us. Bye.